I believe I can fly. I believe I make babies cry.
FBI should be knocking on this door any minute now.
Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Oceanblock. I haven't done much in between episodes, but I did do one very special thing. So if we come up here and look at this point, look at it. Isn't it beautiful? We have crafted the diamond seeds. And yeah, the recipe really wasn't that complex. It was just diamonds with some supremium and all that. You know, it was pretty basic. I needed 5 supremium though, which meant I needed quite a lot of inferium. So yeah, it took me like several hours to get it, but I was able to do it. And you know, because it took me so long, that's the reason I didn't want to do it on screen, because I knew it would take so long and it would just be very boring. But yeah, now with this, we have an infinite source of diamonds that takes a little while, and we even got ourselves some more diamond seeds. So if I ever wanted to like expand this thing so that I could like increase the output of diamondage, it'd be great. I also did end up discovering through a bit of sciencey means that this thing does end up working, this 256k storage block, which I got as a random reward at the end of last video. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. For this one, it does connect to this whole thing. So even though this thing may run out of space, this thing will too. It'll just take longer. Either way, though, all of that aside, we now have today's first project for us to do, because we have some things that we need to wrap up, some loose ends, if you will. So we're going to need to make this thing right here, which means we're going to need to make 3 of these things right there, and then we can go ahead and then craft the energetic infuser. Now, what this baby does is very special. Firstly, we're going to need to grab another pipe, and then we can put that right there, and then we can put the energetic infuser right here. And now it is accumulating energy. It can hold quite a lot of it. It can hold 500 RF. I don't know what that is in FE. Yeah, we don't need no RF anymore. What the heck is that? I don't know what that is. I only use FE. But yeah, so now we have this thing. So what this baby does is when we put things inside of here that need charging, like say this thing right here, this illumination wand, which I had gotten from another random reward, it starts filling up with energy. It's really, really sick. So as far as I know, what this thing does is if I right click on a block, it spawns a light, as it says there. I don't know what that means though. Like, if I were to go over here, does it just work like an invisible light? Oh! Oh! Can I stand on this? No, I can't. That is kind of sick, actually. I can left click it to remove it. But we also got in between episodes, as another random reward for me getting the diamond seeds, this acceleration wand. This thing works like the time in a bottle, except instead of using real world time, it uses energy. It's really overpowered. And you know it's really overpowered because in order to get one of the ingredients for it, being the advanced wand core, you need a nether star. And you need 2 of these. So you actually need 2 nether stars to be able to craft this thing. And I got it from a freaking random award. It's awesome. But now we reach the most important moment of all, because with this thing, we can now power our jetpack of choice. Because I really don't know what the difference is between these two. So we're just gonna choose the iron jetpack, I guess, because I mean, you know, they're basically from the same mod. I seriously don't know what the difference is, but then we can just go ahead and stick this baby in here, let it charge up to its 8,000 FE capacity, and there we go. Now we have this thing at its full maximum power. So we can go ahead and put it in our jetpack slot, and look at me! I have a jetpack now. Oh, it's so beautiful. So how do I actually use this? Okay, J is for the engine. So yeah, now I basically can fly all around the place. It does use a fair bit of power. That is rather unfortunate, but you know what? That is fine, because now we can fly. Let's go ahead and turn that off so that way I don't keep using up its power. And then the only other thing I did was I set up another cobble generator with an auto hammer to continue to make gravel, so that way I can like auto sluice it and stuff like that. I kind of regret doing that because, you know, I have all this whole backup stuff and I can't really use this thing for anything else. So when I do want to do that, it's gonna get a little messy. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For right now, there's one last thing that I wanted to address. This thing right here. This whole cottage that we have here, everything in sight right here. It's a little bit in the way. And at the end of the last video, I said I was going to remove this thing by next episode, unless I found a better way. Well, I found a better way. So in order for us to get this better way, we're going to need a few things. I'm not sure if I have everything, and I may need to get some more gold. And that'll be very sad if I do. Actually, do I have enough gold? I very much do not have enough gold. Well, that's fine. I can go ahead and just smelt a bunch of golden carrots. There we go. Okay, so then the other things that we're going to need, let's see. We need redstone and lapis and emeralds. So yeah, basically we're just going to need a bunch of redstone, lapis, and emeralds. Okay, well, I mean, the redstone, that's fine. We have a bunch of blocks of the redstone, so it's really of no consequence. And then emeralds, we're good for it. And then lapis, where is the lapis one? Ah, here it is. And lapis, we're good for it. Okay, so then I just need to combine this thing to make a good bit of it. I think I only need 2. My assumption was correct. I did indeed only need 2, and then I'm going to need 4 of these emerald ones right here. Then after that, we're just going to need to start making up the emeralds and the lapis. I'll see you when that's all done.
5 minutes later.
Alrighty, so I should have everything I'm going to need now. So, what we're going to be doing with all of this stuff that we've gathered is, we're going to make this thing right here called the copy and paste machine from building gadgets. You'll all see what this thing does very soon, and then we're also going to need this thing called the template manager. Both of these things are going to be very, very useful. Now, I don't think this thing needs power. It doesn't, so I can go ahead and then, move this thing to somewhere else where it's going to be, out of the way from actual electronics. We can go ahead and then put this thing here for right now. So, the way that the copy-paste machine thing works, it's going to need power. That is a guarantee, so I can go ahead and then throw that into there. It takes about 500,000, which is pretty much the whole capacity of this thing, but I think it should work at about half power. So, in order to best explain this thing, I really can't do it here because I can't really show you all the full majesty, and also, I really don't want to waste power. So let me go over to someplace where I can show you it all properly. Alrighty, so I hopped over into a creative world. It's the same kind of world that I had with my main series, except that, I removed all of the ground from underneath the cottage, and there's a very specific reason for that. So firstly, let's demonstrate what this copy-paste machine does. You see that little box area around this thing, right? That is going to be something that you're all going to need to keep in mind. So let's firstly go ahead and then make ourselves a little structure-like thing. So we'll use this angel block right here, then put a cobblestone here, and then we can just start, make a little thing. Nothing too special. And then underneath that, we need to build down by a few, and then we can go ahead and then build out right about there. Then from the opposite end, we can go ahead and then do the same, except rather than going down, we're going to go up. So there we go. Now we have those points right there. So then if I were to right click this portion right here, crap, wait, I need to clear my previous one. I need to remember to do that. Okay, so right click this one to set the first position, and then to set your second position, shift right click it. And then you have yourself a little area. So now by holding G, we have this thing copied, and then we can go over to, unless I didn't get it right, but I should have, we can then go over to paste, and then by using this here, we can go ahead and then paste what we had before. And by clicking this anchor thing, we can leave that there without actually having to look at it, and then we can mess with some settings. So if I shift right clicking it, we can go ahead and then look in this little area, which allows us to make adjustments, which can allow us to raise this thing upwards, that way it's in a more accurate position, move it left, move it right, we can move it forward and even backwards. It's very, very useful. And then by right clicking it again on the paste mode, it has the whole thing. Now it's going to do that weird lighting thing until you remove the anchor, because that thing, it's still there, so it'll keep doing that. Now, the only reason that this worked is because I was in creative mode. Otherwise, I would need to have the correct amount of materials. So let's just say I, were to right-click this part right here, and and then I can just set the position for here, and then up here at this angel block, and then we have our whole house encompassed. So then if I were to decrease the X by 3, and then decrease the Y, and then decrease the Z, and maybe even the Y, and then confirm, and this whole area is still in here, but now the rest of that stuff is now gone. We don't have to worry about that. And here's the good part. Water is not affected by this. You cannot copy water. But now that we've copied it, how does this actually help me with anything in my survival world? Well, that's where the template manager comes in. So let's go ahead and then spawn in some paper. So go ahead and then pick that up, and then we can throw this paper right down into here, and then we can put the copy paste gadget right here, and then we can go ahead and click save. Now we have this template saved to here. So the template, what that thing does is very special. So actually, I think the best way to demonstrate it would just be to grab another copy paste machine. So now we have another copy paste machine. It is not connected to this thing at all. So if I were to put the copy paste machine into here, and then the template into here, and then we need to click, wait. No, I did this backwards. Okay, so we put that there, and then click load, and then this thing should now have that thing as well. Or maybe not. Okay, here we go. I realized what I did wrong. I had forgotten to switch this thing back to paste. So it was actually the whole load thing where you put the template into there. It's really, really sick. So how is this any useful for me at all? Well, with this template, if I copy it, that should have saved it to my clipboard. So then with that, if I were to put another template somewhere, or rather just this piece of paper, and then I can put it somewhere else, and then I can click paste. Okay, wait, I did it wrong. I was supposed to have the copy paste machine into there. Okay, so now that I have copied that with this new piece of paper, if I click paste, it then makes this new one, and then I can put this one up here, click load to that one, and then it would work all the same. So now I have these things connected. And since it should still be in my clipboard, I'm going to put this thing in, copy it again, just in case. It should now be permanently in my clipboard. So now, if I head over to another world and use this thing into here, it should work just the same. All right, so now that we're back in our main world, there is one thing that we need to solve first, and that is our whole issue with paper itself. Because in order to get paper, we need sugarcane. Now, there's various ways you could get sugarcane, one of which would be sluicing, but I still currently have that problem with it. So then we're instead going to use another means of it, which is going to just be with about 6 nature essence. And that is pretty much going to be the easiest thing to get because I already had nature seeds. So yeah, pretty much all I need to do is to just speed this thing up along until we get the proper amount. I'll see you all when that's done.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So then after that, we're just going to need to use all of this to make up some sugarcane. There we go. And then with that, we have ourselves 3 pieces of paper, but we only need 1. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and then take this piece of paper and then paste, and bam! We now have ourselves the pasted template, and then we can go ahead and put the copy paste machine right into here, load that thing up, and if we switch this thing over to paste mode, we have our cottage. Yeah! It's really freaking sick. So if I were to anchor this thing right here, we can see the full scope of what we're working with. That does look pretty decent, but we're going to need to find an actual placement for it. I think I want it to be moved back somewhere over in this direction. I can always just move it again later if I don't like the way that it looks. So, yeah, I think that this will be a pretty good placement for it. Okay, so now that we have this thing ready, we're just going to need to get all the materials in order to craft it. And the only real way to be able to get all the materials is to extract them from my house. So, yeah, time to break this baby down.
Later.
Alrighty, so I've torn the whole building down. This place actually looks a lot cleaner without it. I really should have done this sooner, but you know what? At least this way, I actually have a way to continue to have a place to sleep. So now that we've torn down the whole thing, and we're gonna have great demonstrational purposes, all that's left for us to do is right-click it, and we have the whole thing pasted. Now, this is where I get to show you all what it is that this thing is so special for. So, as you can see, there is none of those campfires up there that made this thing somewhat aesthetically pleasing. It actually looks not too bad without it, but because of that, those things weren't in my inventory, because whenever you break a campfire, if you don't know, you just get charcoal rather than another campfire. I didn't actually have those blocks there. So now I was able to paste everything that I did have. So basically you don't need to actually have everything on you at once. It's very, very neat. I used up pretty much everything I had to be able to reconstruct this whole thing. So then now all I really need to do is to go and make some campfires. By the information laced on the copy paste machine, I need 28 of them. So I will be back soon. Oh gosh, I need to refill on lava.
Much later.
So I was just, you know, innocently planting trees so that way I could get more logs and sticks and all of that. And then when the tree grew for the most recent one, a bee's nest spawned. I think I found out how to get bees, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of use for them. I mean, like, you know, honey and all that, but I mean, outside of that, this isn't really like, you know, FTB Skies to where, you know, there's like all those sorts of resources and stuff like that that you could get with bees, which I did not do. You know what? I'm gonna leave that for right now. I'm gonna get back to business. See you all when this thing's actually done. Oh shoot, there goes my alarm.
Much later.
Okay, that alarm wasn't anything special. Don't anybody worry about that. Anyway, though, I got my campfire now, so now I can go ahead and then paste the rest of those in. And wait, is it already? Oh! So by pasting it in, it pre-extinguishes the fires, because when you place down campfires, you actually have to put out the fire with like water or maybe some other means that I maybe don't know about. But yeah, there we go. So now that I have all of that, my house has been successfully moved. So now I would just need to like put all my furniture and stuff back in. But yeah, there we go. And then there's also one more, even more important thing that we need to do. We need to park the boat again, because this wouldn't work. I just gonna need to make things work ever so slightly. There we go. We're moving off again. Yay! Hooray for Oceanblock and its sailing mechanics. You know, I've ended up sailing so much in this thing that I've actually pretty much gotten a really good handle on it. Like, it's just sort of become obscene. So basically now, this place can kind of like become my docks or something like that. And I'll probably need to like expand the land mass in order for me to, you know, actually have it be like on ground. Because otherwise it just looks off-putting just having it floating there, you know. Because, you know, we want it to at least look a little bit aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, there we go. Gonna need to park it. And yeah, there we go. Move it up a little bit. Put it back in, and there we go. Okay, the boat has been successfully reparked in its new position. You know, something just occurred to me. If I tried to, like, go back into my creative world and then just make a bunch of, like, islands, rather than making one super island, I could make, like, a whole archipelago of just like small islands, each with their own specific use for specific things, because as we continue on, more space is going to become an absolute necessity, which is why I was kind of expanding this whole thing by like placing lava on the edge and like turning the water to stone. But if I were to just make a bunch of mini islands out of just like stone and dirt, and then just keep pasting them in here, I could make something like that work. That would be interesting. I would need bridges, so I'd probably need to make another bridge thing as well, but, like, if I want to make an archipelago-like thing, I could definitely do that. And you know what? There's actually something I wanted to do, so do I have enough? I do have enough. So with this, I can go ahead and then make a glowstone dust, and then I'll probably use up the rest of my power to get up here. Come on, bring myself up to here. Feel like go ahead and put that there, and then put that there, and there we go. Now we have the lighthouse. So now it's just sort of like a beacon for myself if I'm like sailing at night or something. Yay! You know, now that I'm thinking about it, the idea of making like a bunch of islands is very, very appealing, but I probably won't actually be able to do that in this video. So it'll probably be like a progressive thing that I do over time over the course of the series where I just continuously add more islands. But in order for me to do that, I'm gonna need to have a more steady supply of dirt and stone because, you know, I mean, we have cobblestone generators and all that, you know, those things are fine. But when it comes to dirt or something like that, that's in a little bit of short supply. And actually just having like straight stone or straight cobblestone without having to worry about making generators and stuff like that, those wouldn't be too bad, at least to have in the current form. So we're going to need to make some more seeds. Firstly, we'd need the dirt seeds, which just take some inferium and some dirt and, you know, the prosperity seeds, and then the stone seeds, which will take a stone, and then the rest is the same. So let me gather up all that real quick. Alrighty, so I should have everything. So first and foremost, we can go ahead and then start off with the dirt one, and then flick the switch, and then everything's essence starts to flow right into it. And then we got ourselves the dirt sapling. Moving on to the next one. Now we can go ahead and then put the stone stuff right into here, and then flick the lava, and then it all presses down into one single point, giving us the stone seeds. There we go. That's 2 whole new seeds. Now, interestingly enough, when it comes to stone, it can't actually make regular stone on its own. You need to have coal essence. But I already have coal seeds, so I'm not going to bother making those. So yeah, there we go. Now I have these seeds. I'm not actually going to need to make anything higher than inferium to be able to grow them, although I could if I wanted to make it any faster, but you know, it should be fine on its own. So yeah, then I just need to make another place for all of these things, which I will most likely do in between episodes. Probably not in between this and the next episode, but maybe to the one afterwards. We'll see what happens. So then all that's really left is to just go into here and then check off everything and see what we get. A teleportation wand. Really? So what this thing does is it lets me teleport. So if I put this thing in with energy, by what it says right click to teleport forward until a block is hit or maximum distance is reached. So that thing is another really overpowered wand. And also, by me getting one of these cloches, I got more things, which gave me more rewards, and now I've got chicken seeds. What the heck do chicken seeds do? Okay, so obviously it gives me chicken essence, but I can grow meat? How the heck does that make sense? I can also make eggs, you know, that's fine. And feathers, that all makes sense, but like, how would I have gotten chicken seeds beforehand? I need solium seeds. Okay, I know how to get solium. It's a whole process. And then I need soul jars. Okay, that's a whole lot of things that I really didn't want to do. So, okay, I got more seeds. I'm pretty sure that one should have also given me a reward. Yeah, it gave me the chicken seeds, but I didn't get anything from it. Unless it auto-collected it for me when I got that thing, so then it gave me more of these. Oh, you know what? I bet that's what that was. Okay. Darn. That's not fun at all. Okay, that happened. Random rewards are still OP. I still love them. I'm sorry if this ends up being a bit of a shorter video, but there really isn't that much to it, and I also am on a little bit of a time crunch for today, so yeah, it's gonna be a little bit shorter, so I hope you all understand, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the last Oceanblock video. Bye-bye!